Hello everyone, my name is Andrew. In this lesson you will learn 7 expressions with the word business. So let's start. It's none of your business. We say this to a person who is asking questions that do not concern them. We say this to a person who is asking questions that they do not need to know. So let me give you an example. David asks, "Would you like a glass of wine?" And Jane replies, "No thanks, I'd prefer a glass of orange juice." And now David asks a very personal question. "Why don't you want to drink alcohol? Are you pregnant?" And Jane is not happy with this question. She replies, "It's none of your business." Okay, so Jane is not happy with David. She is telling him that does not concern him and he does not need to know. Okay, this is personal. This is none of your business. Okay, be careful with this. This is quite aggressive. Okay, yes, David's question is also quite aggressive, but you must understand that this reply is also quite aggressive. So you have to be careful when you say this. Someone who says this is showing that they are quite angry. Okay? Now, mind your own business. And this means stop asking questions that do not concern you. Stop asking me personal questions. So, this is very similar to the previous expression. It's very similar to "it's none of your business." But this is slightly more, this is stronger. Okay, this is even more aggressive. Okay, you're telling someone to stop. Let's look at an example. So this man here is wearing a very nice, expensive watch. And Mark sees the watch and he says, "That's a nice watch. How much was it?" So this means you're asking, how much did you pay for it? And David replies, "Mind your own business." So David is saying, stop asking me personal questions. Stop asking questions that do not concern you. So it's the same as saying it's none of your business. But again, be careful, this is quite aggressive. Let's get down to business. This means let's start working. So we say let's get down to business when it's time to stop talking about personal things. And a very common example is during a meeting. So at the beginning of a meeting, the people are discussing their weekend. Okay, so they're talking, that the meeting has not started yet. And they are talking about personal things, what they did yesterday, what they did on Saturday, etc. And then after 5 minutes, the manager says, "Okay, everyone, let's get down to business. Let's get down to business." Okay, so stop talking about personal things and let's start working. Okay, very common expression. Go out of business. Go out of business. And this means, well, when a company closes permanently because it is not making a profit. Okay, so a company is not making any money and the company has to close. So here we have a shop with the sign "going out of business." And unfortunately, during the pandemic, lots of shops went out of business. So we're saying went. This is the past form of go, because the pandemic is in the past. Okay, so we're using the past tense here. Lots of shops went out of business. So this means lots of shops closed because they were not making a profit. So here it's saying going. We are using a present participle here. So it is in the process of closing. So it is not yet permanently closed. So when you see a sign like this, it tells you that there is a sale going on. Okay, there is a sale, there are cheap prices. Another example, so we have increasing taxes here. Taxes are going up. If the government raises taxes, many companies will go out of business. So here we have a conditional, and we are using the future tense here. If this happens, then this will happen. So if the government increases or raises taxes, unfortunately, many companies will go out of business. They will permanently close. Business as usual. And this means that an organization or a company is operating in the usual way, in the normal way. Nothing has changed for the organization. Okay, everything is happening like it normally happens. An example, here we have very bad weather. It's a snowstorm, in fact. And during a snowstorm, a customer calls a supermarket. So the customer makes a telephone call. And the customer says, "Is the supermarket open during this storm?" And the manager replies, "Yes, it's business as usual. It's business as usual." So yes, the supermarket is operating in the usual way. Nothing has changed for the supermarket. Okay, we are operating like we normally operate. Or the manager could have said, "Yes, we are open for business as usual." Okay, yes, we are open for business as usual. So both of these are possible. To mean business. And the form here is someone means business. And this means if someone means business, then a person is very motivated and serious about doing something. They really, really want to do something. A person really wants to achieve something. Okay, they have a goal, they have an objective, and they really, really want to achieve that objective. So here we have a very common example. Mark is going for a job interview, and he really, really wants this job. It's his dream job. It's a perfect job for Mark. So he really wants to make lots of effort to get this job. So he has bought a new suit for this interview. Okay, he has bought an expensive, nice new suit for this interview because he really, really wants the job. And Jane, she sees Mark, she sees him just before the interview. So she sees that he has bought a suit. And she says, "Oh, wow, you mean business. You mean business." So she has noticed that Mark is very motivated and serious about getting this job. She can see that Mark really wants to get this job. Okay, you mean business. Mark means business. Okay. Another example could be if someone wants to run a marathon. Okay, they want to run a marathon race, and the marathon is next year. And so every day, every morning, the person gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning to train for the marathon. Okay, and they go on a diet, they lose weight, and they study how to run a marathon. They do everything they can to be able to finish the marathon race. So we can say that that person means business. Okay, that person is really motivated to achieve something. A business card. So this is a business card. I'm sure you have all seen them. So it's a small card with the following information on it: your name, your job title, the company name, and there's usually a phone number and an email address on there. Sometimes also a website address. So an example, the estate agent says, "Here is my business card. Call me if you want to buy a house." Okay. So there we are, that's the end. If you're preparing for the IELTS exam, click here for information about our online course. And here are some other videos I recommend.